Record that bitch. Alrighty. Hello, everyone. My name is Kamasia, and I'm the founder of Soulfully Organic, the Botanica with Soul, where we combine spirituality and practicality. So I just wanted to start off by saying, welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Cleansing Your Space class. Here, I'm going to teach you on how to utilize the 6 elements to cleanse your aura and your space. The knowledge is not just going to be focused towards cleansing only. There will be information about protecting, information about overall, like the basics when it comes to cleansing your environment. You know, we just entered a new solar return essentially for the sun. The sun being ruled by Leo, and Leo being the only ruler, as it does not have a sister sign. It does have a sister sign, but it's not sharing the planet, the sun. And with us going into Leo season, the sun taking all of its knowledge and basically going into a new cycle of its own regeneration, I felt that everyone in the community could sense the shift that just went on, and since this new chapter that's opening up, where this is a period where I feel like this is where the new year actually takes place, you know, after the summer solstice and like 8/8 Lionsgate portal. I feel like this is a great time for us to really get in the mix of our new environments, or removing any forms of stagnant energy from our environments, negative energy from our environments, really understanding how to make these environments for us sacred to us and special to us. And so, yeah. And so I just want to say, welcome. I'm your host, Kamasia Ayers, and let's get this ball on the roll. This is the Cleansing Your Space 101 class, using elements to cleanse your aura and your space. And here we talk about like, what is cleansing? So cleansing is the art of clearing and ridding your target. And when I say target, I don't mean one specific person or object or item. The target when it comes to cleansing is what you overall want to focus on cleansing. Whether it's clearing your house, whether it's cleansing any negative bonds that you have with money, for example, or relationships that you have with money, cleansing your aura, cleansing other people's energies off of you. I could cleanse, like, for example, like my tarot cards, like my bones over here. How? We're going to see how. And I want to highlight that cleansing is not one size fits all. Multiple cultures cleanse, multiple cultures, religions, identities, communities. They all have their own aspect of what is considered cleansing, what's considered cleanse. Like, for example, if I'm burning an incense right here, shameless promo, incense holder from Soulfully Organic, but I'm burning an anti-tobacco incense, and if I simply got this dice, right, and I waved the smoke over it and utilized the air element to cleanse this, some cultures would be like, this is not cleansed. Some people would be like, it's cleansed. I focus on providing the resources and the tools so that ultimately everyone can shape their own sense of intuition and their own sense of what is clean, what is this, what is whatever, so that they can really resonate what applies to them on a deeper level. And so, yeah, so moving on, is cleansing important? And if so, why? I wanted to take this time out to highlight why cleansing is so important and how it's such a key foundation when it comes to starting your spiritual journey, or renewing the energy in the atmosphere, renewing your sense of self, revitalizing yourself. Cleansing is important, the same reason why we wash our clothes. You go outside and you might not be playing in dirt and playing in mud and playing in paint and all this other stuff in your all white clothes. But that doesn't mean that dust isn't hitting it. That don't mean people not touching you. That don't mean that there's none in the car. You know what I mean? And so we can easily absorb other people's energy, or just come into contact with other people's energy, whether it's an energy vampire, whether it's somebody who we're like, oh my gosh, they have such good energy, and da-da-da-da-da, whether it's people evil eyeing us, energy vampires, or you just going out in the day-to-day. When you go into your home, that should be your sanctuary. When you go into your space, whether you for example, I had to share a room most of my life just growing up, period. And even though I shared that space, I would still make sure that I had at least one area in the house or one routine that I did to keep my sense of security and solitude and privacy and also my own sanctuary. So what I would do, I would go in the bathroom for fucking hours. And honestly, I would just do face masks. I would do my little self-care. I'd be in the bathroom for like 4 to 5 hours and like niggas was being mad, but it's like that one that's valid. You can like low key, I was in that bitch for a couple hours. But at the same time, prioritizing my sense of my sanctuary genuinely kept me sane in a house full of 12 people in a 5-bedroom house. And so when we look at why cleansing is important, essentially you're taking off the energies of unwanted people, unwanted entities. You're cleansing away the stress, any low vibrations. You can also cleanse away good shit. Like, I'm not saying that when you cleanse, oh my gosh, I burned some frankincense and myrrh, my blessings are gone. No, because once again, intention is key. Intention is very important. But you can also, for example, you could cleanse someone to wash away their luck. You can, like, everything is left and right. Everything is a spectrum. And so I don't want to continue this this webinar without highlighting the duality of cleaning, the duality of any type of work, whether you deem it good, whether you deem it bad. There's positive and negative and et cetera, but everything is extremely subjective. And so I tell people to do what resonates with them, because what might be negative to you might be positive to that bitch, and what positive to that nigga might be negative to him. And at the end of the day, all we can do is just transfer the energy, transmute the energy, sense the energy, and not label it as human ideas of good and bad. And so I don't want people to, I don't want nobody thinking that like cleansing is a cure, or cleansing is like, oh my gosh, bitch, I got the conjuring in my house, just need a cleanse, let me burn some sage. Like, no. Like, no. One, cleansing is not just the cure. Like, that's something I always say, cleansing is not the cure, but it definitely gets the ball rolling. It's always the first step to this. If I'm doing work for somebody, I'm either cleansing or protecting myself, vice versa. They're doing it or something, because what we need to do is get everything aligned. It's like when, when painters use the palette and they have little areas like, okay, this is the red, this is the indigo, this is the purplish pink, this is where they're both blended, but these are where they're separate, versus somebody just smearing it all in one area, being like pink, purple, da, 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 da. We need to get everything organized, order, and everything that does not need to be there cleansed away, so we can really get the raw root of what needs to be done. So yeah, so cleansing is extremely important, especially if you are an empath, you identify as a community worker, as somebody who is constantly being the therapist friend, or you could pick up on other people's energies and you're very sensitive. Cleansing is extremely important. And yeah. And so what are some signs that you need to cleanse your space or yourself? And so some things on here I need to also work on, because it's not, like I said, it's not one size fits all. It's not going to be like, oh, damn, my room is messy, oh, I need to cleanse my space. Like, yes, because, why wouldn't you want to live in like a clean environment that you deem as clean? But it's not a one and done fix when it comes to cleansing. Like, I tell everyone, you need to cleanse constantly, like at least have like some sort of routine to where you can keep yourself spiritually cleansed. Because, for example, messy environment, that one day where, oh my God, I'm running late and I gotta put everything on the table and and like your desk is messy. That's not necessarily a sign automatically, like, oh my gosh, you low vibration, oh my God, you're this, oh my gosh, but prolonged stress, prolonged feeling like you're on survival mode and having to constantly rush. And if that desk is always messy, and then we kind of just start to go and doom, to the point where we kind of dig ourselves into a hole where we kind of just dwell in the environment. We kind of stoop down to like the level that the environment is at, simply because we're rushing, simply because we're not able to focus and prioritize and get shit in order. And I'm not saying that just because your desk is messy, you low vibration or nothing like that. But I noticed that when we feel disorganized in here, a lot of times we are actually disorganized, like in the third dimensional realm. And so when we look at signs that you need to cleanse, signs that you need to cleanse yourself, your space, we can see things like the messy environment, the foul smells. Foul smells, if you walk into an environment and there's nothing, but you just like, damn, it fucking stank in this bitch, or damn, it smells like just rotting dead body, or it smells like shit. It just, oh my gosh, like, on like some Tiffany, like I love New York, like, ooh, her breath, like that is not necessarily like a number one indicator, but it can indicate that there's either very negative, low vibrational entities there or energies there. And, you know, what I was saying earlier about cleansing, and you know how they're saying like cleanliness is close to godliness and et cetera, like low vibrations love dirt, they love stank, they love repulsive senses, if that makes sense, whether it's imagery, whether it's things that would trigger you, whether it's smells and just like, oh my God, like things that naturally make the body go oof can also be an indicator of that you need to cleanse your space. Now I'm not saying like you walk into somebody's house and it's like ooh, they got shit on their walls, like posters or something like that that you don't agree with. No. But if it's something like, damn, you walk in this bitch and it's dusty as fuck and it's stuffy and you can't smell right, like, or you go into an area and it's like, ooh, it smells like mildew or da-da-da, like those are signs that, hey, like we need to keep it up. We need to start cleansing. We need to actually clean in your environment. If you need to cleanse, or signs that you need to cleanse and, you know, get the energy right. There could be a lot of arguments. You could have trouble sleeping or getting restful sleep, whether it's insomnia or you're feeling very sluggish and like, oh, I can't go to sleep simply because of overthinking or this or this or this, or I'm sleeping in too much. I wake up tired. I don't feel good, not feel good. Like, oh, I feel like I'm gonna throw up, feel good, but you don't feel good. You don't feel yourself. You could be experiencing some financial blockages simply because, like, I noticed that my ancestors, if I'm not on my shit, they kind of take away the rewards. They'll be like, Psycho Berry bitch, you thought Psycho Berry, what the fuck? Like, you thought like you were going to chase this abundance, but you can't be abundant in what you have now. And it's not necessarily like in the form of shame or anything like that, but that's how, you know, everybody focuses on money. Money makes the world go around. That's just the society that we're like, that we live in today. But when we have that thing that we're constantly chasing get blocked, we're kind of forced to deal with other aspects of our life. And I noticed that usually the money can't come in cleanly. And when I say cleanly, I don't mean like blood money or like that, but I mean like, you know, like bill, like, okay, it's consistent, it's clean. Like I'm not having to do no sketchy shit for no money. I'm not having to do this, I'm not having to do that. It's just revenue coming in, finances and abundance building up. If your sanctuary is not together and your mind is not together because your mind is reflecting into the outer world, they block your money. That's just how it is. You could also have increased anxiety regarding to, honestly, just a lot of shit, even if it's just something as simple as me sitting down here and being like I'm anxious, like, I don't know why I'm so anxious, or you're scared to step out of the box, or you're scared to express yourself, or you talk negatively about yourself and you kind of just see yourself on the hamster wheel of downplaying yourself and talking negatively about yourself. And it's just a constant, ooh, like I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I'm this, I'm that. You know, your consciousness doesn't think that you're a liar. So when you say, when you say things like that, your brain is like, I must be a dumb bitch because I'm not a liar. I wouldn't say that. And then we get on the habit of self-hexing. You know, energy is not created nor destroyed. And that's something that I want to push strongly during this webinar, is that energy is not created nor destroyed. We are simply just pushing it and moving it, because stagnant energy will stay. An object in motion will stay in motion, and an object that is still will stay still until something else moves it. And so when we're putting out like, oh, I'm done, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, the energy is just filling up the room until we have a way to sweep it out and welcome new energy in. There could be a very heavy feeling in the home where you walk in, you're just like, damn, like the energy just isn't right. Like it's almost like a groggy feeling. like, ooh, just very heavy. You could also feel unmotivated, feel hopeless. Once again, like a lot of things going internal where you think that you are the problem. But I think of these type of issues as like a spider web. You touch one part of a spider web, the whole web is going to be like wow, 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 like touch, and the whole web is vibrating. You pluck one part, the whole web is not necessarily coming apart, but the whole web is influenced. And so that's how I see problems. It's not black and white. And so these feelings of hopelessness and stress and feeling unmotivated and just like the other options on here, or yeah, options on here say feeling sluggish, lack of passion, inspiration, lack of creativity, stress, you're just feeling at a low vibration. It's not necessarily just because your space is dirty. It's not just because you need to cleanse your area. It's not just because one thing. I feel like things just kind of start to get piled on. And the first thing that we can do is kind of organize it. And that's why I think cleansing is so important, because it just renews the energy where it's like, all right, we thinking about that shit. Wipe. All right, now we can see clearer because we don't wipe our fucking glasses or contact lenses or the rose-tinted goggles that we see life out of when we're on a high vibration. We can wipe these shits off, get the dirt off, and actually see like what is going on. It kind of forces you out of that headspace. Even if you want to or not, it definitely does push you slightly. I'm not saying it's gonna get you out, but like I said, cleansing is not the answer. It's the first like stepping stone. And then tips when it comes to tips when it comes to cleansing your space. Routine is always going to be the biggest key. The key to establishing a cleansed space constantly. And how do I maintain cleansing and protecting and you have to establish a good spiritual hygiene. And you do this by creating your own routine. My business is focused towards merging spirituality and practicality. So for example, ways that I do that, I have a lock spray and a hair mist that you can hydrate your hair, and it's holy water infused. And boom, like that's your way of daily cleansing. You're taking care of your hair, but you're also blessing yourself. You're anointing yourself, anointing your crown chakra, praying over your ori. You know what I mean? But you have to be subjective with it. Consistency is key. And I recommend like breaking down the routine into segments and place them on a calendar. Every first of the month, my house is getting cleansed. Every day I bless myself. Every week I try to take a spiritual bath or cleanse myself in some way. And so I made a example routine PowerPoint slide for that. So for example, daily you can anoint yourself by praying, meditating. You can burn smudge sticks and Palo Santo and do whatever the fuck you want, as long as you feel like it is pouring into yourself and cleansing your energy, whether it's me clapping my hands around me being like, bad energy go away, bad energy bye-bye today, or some shit like that. It's subjective. As long as you feel like you are being elevated by it, I encourage it. As long as it's not fucking up nobody, harming nobody, go ahead and do it. Weekly or bi-weekly spiritual bath, cleanse the house. Like I say, a home reset cleanse. Like, if you know good and damn well that painting ain't supposed to be on the floor, pick that shit up. Sweep the house, mop, dust. That's the very big thing that I honestly did not pay attention to until I got older, was dusting. Like, I thought that little Swiffer duster things don't work. Or I was like, okay, like this is just kind of nothing. But no, dust is everywhere. Dust is around us. And I feel like that is one of the first indicators that there's stagnant energy going on, not because necessarily there is dust, like, the dust is causing it, but I feel like when there's not enough constant activity being driven in an area, dust will slowly start to pile up, and that's when we start to see the dust form, because there's not enough activity going on. And it's stuff like on our TV. Oh my gosh, I watch TV all the time. But yes, but are you actually touching the TV? Are you cleaning behind the TV? Are you cleaning underneath the TV? You know what I mean? And so yeah, and then monthly, do a deep cleanse. It's like, I have a mop, but I will also get on my hands and my knees and scrub. That's just something about it. Like when we look at the importance of cleansing, you cannot be afraid to get dirty in your own grime. You know what I mean? Like when I say cleanse, I mean cleanse. Smudge the area, anoint the home, put your hands on the wall, pray on it. Anoint yourself, put your hands on yourself, lay some hands on yourself, thoroughly cleanse your space. You know, I'm not saying you gotta take down all the photos and stuff and wipe behind them, but it should be to the point when you walk in, you're like, damn, I clean the fuck out of this house. I'll clean the fuck out of this house. Think of how many people go in and out of your home. Think of how many times you go in and out of your home carrying the dust particles, the energies of other people. You came home from work and they done try the fuck out of you. Where are you gonna go to release your stress and to calm down, to recuperate yourself? You're gonna go to your sanctuary. So that sanctuary is essentially just absorbing that energy. The energy just don't disappear. The energy just don't die. And then lastly, quarterly, this is seasonal, like, spring cleaning, summer cleaning, winter cleaning, autumn cleaning. I say that this is the time to do a deep cleanse and a deep protection ritual. And I'm talking about move the fridge, move the oven, wipe down the inside of the refrigerator, move the desk, sweep under your bed. I'm talking about on some spring cleaning, like Tiptoe to the Tulips, playing, well, that's kind of like a low-key scary song, but I'm talking about gospel music, playing like you wake up Sunday morning early as hell and you know you finna clean just because of how you woke up and you know that it's a new season coming. And yeah, and so now I want to highlight the elements.
I was just gonna say, like, you just feel so good after, like, you literally feel like you feel cleaner, like what, like, so, like, I don't understand why sometimes when like the mess accumulates and like in my home, I'm just like, I feel the mess on me, like, and then when I come back home, it's not gonna, like, I'm not gonna feel relieved from coming back home from work, because I'm coming back home to like mess, to like low energy.
Hello, did you mute yourself again?
Oh, I was talking. Oh, I was saying, like, I'm not coming home to like a cleansed space, so like my body's gonna like feel uncomfortable until I cleanse.
Exactly. And some people, they get comfortable in the uncomfortability to where they kind of think that like they have to just kind of stick with it and put up with it and just keep pushing forward, just keep pushing forward. But sometimes you just got to take a step back and detach yourself from everything that's going on, situations, detach yourself from the energies, and just wipe it down and start pushing. Oh yes, thank you for your input. That just confirms that it's resonating. All right, but now I wanted to highlight the elements. And I say 6 elements because I do consider spirit an element. Some people do, some people don't. Take what resonates, leave what don't. I'm chilling. But yeah, so first I want to talk about the elements of cleansing of water. And so ways that you can use water to cleanse your space. There's spiritual baths for yourself or for objects. Floor washes. This is literally where it's like you're just mopping the floor with the spiritual concoction that you made. Spiritual colognes, such as like the orange blossom cologne, Florida water cologne. Some colognes that I got right here on my desk alone is like this 180 tobacco or 1800 tobacco. And then this, what is that called? Kalina. So literally I just keep pushing every day or during a reading. And low-key is really nostalgic because my grandma used to put this on me when I would like get out the shower and stuff. She put this in Florida water on me after she bathed me as a baby. And oh, it just smells so good. I recommend y'all do that. But anyways, cleansing with water. You can also use liquid cleansing agents such as pine salt, fabuloso, vinegar. One thing that I recommend doing is that like get innovative with what you have. So for example, if you have some Clorox disinfectant wipes, we're just gonna pretend like this is Florida water, but this can also work. Like this wholeheartedly works. But Psalms 23, Psalms 91, and that's the recommended Psalms that I gave y'all in terms of like praying over the house, cleansing it, and et cetera, and like my preferred prayers that I use for cleansing and for protection, but we'll get on that later. And then I just shake it up, give it a little shake, give it a little energy, wham, bam, you get you a Lysol wipe that bitch down. and boom, you got something that is not only cleansing the area, but is spiritually like getting rid of any type of energy instead of just bacteria. You can also use holy water. You can also use oils. You can use olive oil. And you can also use conditioned oils. Some conditioned oils are like the protection oil, evil be gone oil, and more. Fun fact: my Botanica, we make oils, or I make the oils because I'm the only damn employee. But, I make oils. So right now I have a road opening oil that's available, and my inventory is kind of low just because I moved, and so check the website every month. New oils will be out. I will be releasing a home cleansing kit that has a smudge stick, floor wash, floor sweep, and a vacuum powder, as well as a fixed candle and a prayer sheet. And just be alert about dirt. Why is it not working? All right. And so next we're moving on to the elements of cleansing of air. And so there we have incense smoke. We have smudging with plants such as sage, rosemary, and palo santo. I also like burning eucalyptus. Resins, like the burning resins such as frankincense, myrrh, dragon's blood. And so what you would do essentially is, I don't have any up here, but you would get you a fire safe container, just like this cauldron right here. And let's just say that this right here is a charcoal tablet. Light the charcoal tablet and then set it in there. Don't touch it, but you want to light it in there. And then just get the incense, get the resins, get the plants, or get the resin, and you're just gonna burn it on there, place it on there that way, and the smoke will rise. And then I like to hold it like this, walk around the house, just walk around the house, smoke coming up, smoke coming up, smoke coming up, and then I just pray, go into all the corners, and depending on what I'm trying to do and like what I'm burning, I will walk around my house in certain patterns. So for example, if I'm trying to attract peace, if I'm trying to attract abundance and serenity into my home, I'll walk clockwise. But if I'm trying to repel negative energy, if I'm trying to say anybody else who ain't supposed to be here, get the fuck out my house, etc., I'm not fucking with y'all, like get out, like y'all got to cuss these spirits out, like y'all really do have to cuss these spirits the fuck out because they will try you. But anyways, I walk counterclockwise if I'm trying to repel. And you can also use aromatherapy such as essential oils. Like for example, I love using lavender essential oil to just calm down any overactive energies that are within the environment. Real quick. And so here's how to smudge, just because some people genuinely don't know. I have a smudge stick right here. So this is white sage and perul. Perul is the leaves of a Peruvian spicy pepper, which is really good for dispelling like very intense negative energy. And so what you want to do, be clear with your intentions. So for example, say that I'm trying to cleanse out any negative energy from my room. Cool. I would take this, I would pray, I would speak it out loud. I'm not actually trying to do that right now. So like, that's just the reality of it. I want to burn other stuff besides sage. So not that I don't like sage, but sage definitely is not my favorite smudge stick. I'm a Palo Santo bitch. I'm a Palo Santo bitch for real. But yeah, so you're gonna take your stick, light it on fire, but you want to light it enough for it to get a nice ember around it. And ember is these little fiery bits. And so you just want to light it up. And so yeah, I would say just always, be careful playing with fire. And yeah, so this is low-key enough. And then you move around your space, be clear with what you want the energy to do. You can use this to cleanse your area. So like for example, got some of my bones here, I could cleanse over my bones. Got my tarot cards, got a candle, I can cleanse the candle, you know what I mean? Like I was saying, clockwise to attract, counterclockwise to repel, and you want to allow the smoke from the stick to really immerse within the area. So for example, I got a little gold Buddha right here. You really want him to be submerged, not to the point where like your fire alarm is going off, and like it probably will. Like sometimes it happens, not necessarily, it's never happened for me, but like I know some people who it has happened to. But you essentially want to make sure it's coated in the smoke. And yeah, and so after a while, the rich smoke will fill the air, bringing peace and clarity to the environment. I recommend opening the windows, just to let some fresh air in. Some people say just to let the evil spirits out, but I'm like, they can go through the front door. Like, you know what I mean? And so yeah, and then once the stick is burned out, you can start fresh with new intentions. Don't ever leave this unattended, especially if it's smoking. Just put it in a fire safe container. And yeah, and just be careful and happy smudging. And so this is just a little diagram of what clockwise and counterclockwise is. If y'all see this, clockwise is this way, the same way that a clock moves. Also how our natal charts are calculated. And then here we have the counterclockwise rotation, where it goes the opposite way. Alrighty, and so let me go back. All right, and so when we look at the element of fire, when it comes to cleansing, my favorite way is using candles. Personally, I would utilize fire pretty much more focused towards candles and like some type of workings rather than like cleansing. Fire is very cleansing and it can help you get a lot of closure in certain aspects. But I personally just don't use a lot of fire. And if I am using fire, it's to get smoke. But in terms of actual fire, like consistent fire, my favorite thing is candles. And I say that candles are a great way to protect, enchant, program, cleanse. You can do anything with a fucking candle, realistically. Like some people think that you need all this, oh my God, I need this type of cologne, I need this type of sage to be spiritual. No, some people can fuck y'all up simply with a candle, a cigarette, and let's say a thing of coffee or a thing of cold water. Shit ain't even gotta be cold, bro. But when we look at candles, I feel like candles are very slept on, and you can fix, enchant, dress a candle to do pretty much anything that you need if the vibration is there and the intention is there. And you can use the vibration of colors to set the intentions. And also here's a tip, I recommend using glass bottles because glass is actually a crystal and it's programmable. Glass is made out of sand, and sand is sediments of clear quartz crystal. It's just broken down and grounded up and made to look like glass. It's turned into glass, but essentially the foundations are like that of clear quartz. And so when we know anything about clear quartz crystal, it amplifies. And so that's why I recommend using glass candles, like 7-day candle, 14-day candle, et cetera, to cleanse the area if you are going to be using candles. Tea lights are fine, chimes are fine, but I really love glass because one, it adds an extra layer of protection against like the fire from touching stuff or falling or like, anything like that. But then also you can program it as it is a crystal. And so here is just some of the, why it's not working? Okay. And so here are just some of the colors. I also correlated them to the zodiac signs as well. So we can see, personally, if I was doing any type of healing work for a client or cleansing work, I would ask them like, what are you trying to obtain? What are you XYZ? If I'm doing it for myself, I would ask myself like, what are foundations that I really want to highlight during this cleanse, during this protection, during this whatever. Sometimes I burn more than one candle. And when it comes to home related areas, I prefer blue, brown, black, and white. White because one, it could be used to substitute any zodiac, any candle, a color, pretty much is like the rosemary of candles. But it's also very clarifying, very cleansing. White, like, they say like, cleanliness is next to godliness. Like when I think of it, I don't think of white people, I think of the actual color white. And think about how some people just can't wear white because they get white dirty. It's very easy to see if white clothes has been dirty. It looks a little tinted, it looks a little dull. Oh, there's a big ass stain right here. Like it's very easy to mess up white clothes. And I feel like blank canvases, that being all white, you put the paint on the canvas. I feel like white ultimately is just like the clean slate. That's why I also feel like it can substitute for any candle in the zodiac. Black because of protection. I honestly I'm very focused on also repelling and sending shit back because just make sure you got the thing on you all the time and that you're protected. But when we look at like black candles and like the correlation of like Scorpio in the home, Scorpio is a very intense planet. It's a very passionate planet, very strategic, and also very like protective planet. Or fuck, zodiac, my bad, a very protective zodiac. And so when I light black candles, for example, I am focusing on solely like my protection, my well-being, and ensuring that like any type of energy is completely gone out of my space entirely. And then brown to make sure that I'm fortifying my home, grounding my home, adding new beginnings, really focusing on feeling rooted and safe and secure within my home. And then blue for healing, to bring peace into my home, to allow myself to feel vulnerable in my sanctuary, for me to forgive myself for things that I might have not done, that I won't do, that I will do, you know what I mean? And yeah, moving forward, here's all the colors. I'm not gonna go through all the colors because you can just pause this, but yeah. Alrighty, and now when we're looking at Earth, you can use crystals, herbs, or physical goods. With crystals, you can enchant your crystals to protect you, clarify you, cleanse, attract, repel, anything. It just has to be specific. It doesn't have to be specific to the crystal, but it does help. I tell everyone there's a crystal for fucking everything. There's a crystal for everything. When it comes to herbs, same thing with herbs, plethora of herbs that you can use to cleanse, attract, clarify, protect, repel, etc. You can brew them in a bath, ground them into a powder, make them into a tea, dress a candle with them. You can do so much with herbs, and also their spirits and all of them. And then also physical goods such as jewelry, amulets, evil eye, and just more items. You can use these also cleanse, protect, attract, repel. More, you can enchant your jewelry. You can enchant your belongings. You can enchant other things to do the cleansing for you. Not saying that you won't have to refill it or you won't have to replenish it in terms of like an offering, in terms of cleansing that and charging that up, but it's more than just being in your home burning incense. You can make sure that you do have that protection and that cleansing agent on you at all times. Some of my favorite crystals, in terms of cleansing, it will be selenite because it's also self-cleansing, so it cleanses itself. And you can put this into other spaces and put these next to your crystals to help cleanse your crystals. And this crystal is very calm and focuses on bringing peace. I recommend placing a selenite in very common areas just to maintain the peace and repel any negative energy or unwanted energy, but also absorb any of that energy. And then also black tourmaline. So for example, I got a little thing of black tourmaline right here in my bone bag. But yeah, and so this crystal is really good when it comes to protecting yourself against energy vampires, leeches, anything that might be infiltrating your sense of security and stability. It's also associated with the root chakra, and it could be used to ease stress, anxiety, and doubt. And yeah, when it comes to my, wait, I think this skipped too far. There we go. Okay, cool. And then lastly, when it comes to the element of spirit, this can be sound vibration, your energy just put into an atmosphere, your ashe, your soul, your sound. This is how you truly embody the energy to move the stagnant energy from your environment. And so some ways you can sing, you can jump up and down, you can clap your hands, dance, you can ring a bell. Like I have 2 bells that I ring, one to like remove the energy, but one to uplift the energy. You can pray, you can meditate, and more. Ultimately, this is the type of ashe and the sensation that you feel in your heart to cleanse the area. So for example, when I use the element of spirit and I put my hands on this thing of water and I pray over this, and I really just put that energy in it, who's to say that this is not holy water? You can transform this into holy water. Holy water is just a medium that holds memories. Water itself holds memories, it holds energy. So why can't you put that element of spirit into the water to boom? Now I'm praying over this. Now I'm blessing my area with this holy water that I made myself. It's just a matter of intention and really getting creative, because intention is everything in the work, especially when it comes to spiritual work for the community. My favorite prayer for cleansing would be Psalms 23. You can also use this to attract, repel, etc., etc. This is like the white candle and the rosemary of prayers when it comes to hoodoo specifically. Yeah, I usually tell my clients pray over your ancestor altar with Psalm 23 and your home, make your house a sanctuary for your ancestors of love and light, because not all ancestors are good ancestors, but a lot of them do have your back. And then yeah, also my favorite prayer when it comes to protection. What is going on? My favorite prayer when it comes to protection is going to be Psalms 91. Psalms 91 is my favorite Psalms because it really, for me, I feel like it really embellishes and embodies the aspect of fortification and securing the household and establishing that this is a safe area and that those who are not welcomed are not welcomed. I feel like it's very good when it comes to fortifying the home. And personally, whenever I'm making fixed candles on my protection home candles, it's Psalms 91 that I tell my clients to read over. And so yeah. And then lastly, here are some recipes that I promised y'all. And so this is a floor wash recipe. And the way you do the floor wash, I recommend during all these recipes or washes, vacuums, powders, sweeps, whatever, during the process of cleaning your home, I do recommend just having a white candle safely placed somewhere while you're cleaning up, just the one, invoke the energy of cleaning, uplift the spirit, uplift the energy in the household, but to also act as a beacon of light for your ancestors or spirit guides who you're asking to help protect you, who you're asking to help cleanse, who you're asking to help you. You might not be like, hey, please directly help me. But at the end of the day, when you ask for protection, who the fuck are you asking from? Your spiritual team. And they need a way to come to you. I'm not saying that you need the candle, but it does help. Like I would say you get the candle if you can. But yeah, and so when we're looking at the floor wash, we're going to use 1 part spring water, 1 part Fabuloso or pine salt. I personally use both just because, like, when I clean, I cake them. I clean, boy. I clean. You can also add 1 part sea salt. And what I like to do is just put the sea salt in the spring water, stir it up, mix it up, put it in there. And then you're going to get the slice of 1 lemon or 1 part just lemon juice, like in equal parts, just like those. And then there's hyssop and rosemary. What you want to do is put the herbs in a separate thing of water. It doesn't matter how much water, as long as the herbs are there. And you want to get this water up to a boil. Now, you don't want it to be like the Fabuloso or the pine salt. Technically, you could, but at the same time, like, I just wouldn't do it because you don't know how it's going to react. I mean, my mom, she puts Fabuloso and pine salt in a container, heats it up on the stove to make the house smell good. But at the same time,
I do that. Oh, what were you gonna say? Finish what you're gonna say.
Good. But at the same time, if anything dangerous happens, or somebody spills it on there, Soulfully Organic is not going to be deemed liable. So I would say just add in a separate thing of water, boil the herbs together, pray over the rosemary, pray over the hyssop as you put it in the water, pray over the water, and then just take that water after it's cooled down a bit and then pour it in that bucket, and then you go mop the house after you just swept. You can also add some Florida water into the mixture. I recommend it. And then, yeah, at the bottom, it just tells you steep the herbs into a tea, brew them for like 15 minutes, then pour it in there. And then how do you dispose of it? You can pour it outside on the porch, pour it outside on the stairs, pour it outside on the patio, or just pour it outside, period. But I would not recommend pouring this down the drain in your home, because essentially you're just putting that energy back in home, or flushing it down the toilet, because at the end of the day, I just feel like if it's getting out the home, it needs to be gotten out the home entirely. And then now when we look at our floor sweep, so what you're gonna do is get 2 to 3 cups of sea salt, get some rosemary. You wanna, don't get the bundle, but you wanna like kind of crush it up in your hands just in case it is the bundle. But you can also just sprinkle some rosemary in the sea salt. Get you a couple things of black-eyed peas, just pour it in there. Get some crushed garlic shells, get some garlic powder. And the reason why I say garlic is because spirits do not like strong smells like that. They like foul smells, but garlic is not a foul smell. Think of folklore when it comes to actual vampires. Oh, they're allergic to garlic and da-da-da. It's because it's so pungent, it's so strong, it's so repulsive to them. Same with energy vampires. And so what I recommend is putting a little garlic powder in that bitch. And then also some ground peppercorns, just because pepper adds that intensity. It also adds that fortification, and it could also help protect your environment. Also, don't be afraid to possibly add a drop or two of some essential oils. But personally, for this part, I wouldn't say add essential oils unless you feel called to. Not that anything bad is going to happen. It's just that you're just going to be sweeping this off the floor. I don't really see it coating the floor. I would say essential oils in the vacuum powder and in the floor wash would have the house smelling a lot better in terms of like fragrance. However, if you do feel like, I'm gonna put some essential oils just to kind of get some peace on my floor for any energy that's laying low, I say do it. And then yeah, you're gonna sweep the house from back to front and dispose of it by sweeping it outside the door, put it in the dustpan and discarding it outside in the trash. But once again, you don't want to discard it in your home. And if you're going to discard it in the trash in your home, you want to take that trash out. And then lastly, we have the vacuum powder recipe. So what you're going to do is get 3 parts baking soda, 2 parts sea salt, get a couple tablespoons of ground thyme, and then 1 part of lavender petals, and a few drops of essential oils. And essentially what you're going to do is mix this up, pray over it, speak your intentions over it, and then evenly disperse it within a rug or within the carpet. And you can either sprinkle it like this, you go put it in a little shaker. And yeah, and what I personally like to do, I would get me a spray bottle that's not like this, but y'all know the spray bottles that be like, ow, 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 ow. You can get you one of those spray bottles, and I would put a little bit of essential oil with some Florida water and a couple of things of with just regular spring water, and spray the carpet just a little bit. Not to the point when you walk and you're like, "Ooh, this bitch is wet," but you just spray it ever so slightly, just a little, and then you sprinkle the mixture on it, and then you just let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes, and then you vacuum it from back to front, and then you take that dirt out of the vacuum and you dump it outside in the outside trash can. And so yeah, so those are the recipes. Any closing notes that I have are going to be on this slide, but in terms of readings, cleanses, personalized home cleanses, kits, and what I can personally offer, I offer egg cleanses. I can also do home cleanses, readings, custom spiritual work, also cleansing kits, and more kits will be coming soon. I just moved, so it will be probably another month and a half before they all get released with labels and stuff. And yeah, you can also learn more and schedule a consultation at soulfullyorganic.com. I honestly do take pride in my work and have been doing this for a while, and there is a lot of love and a lot of dedication into it. Also on soulfullyorganic.com, I have a hoodoo blog called Soul Family Sessions, I believe, or Soul Family. It's something related to Soul Family, because I also have a podcast called Soul Family Sessions, which you can also access through soulfullyorganic.com. And yeah, that is the end of our webinar. Do you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything? Let me stop sharing also.
No, I don't think I have any questions. I know you can hear my sister in the background, but I don't think I have any questions.
All right, cool. Chris, do you have any questions?
No. Oh, one thing though, what do you think about eucalyptus oil?
Of what oil?
Eucalyptus.
Eucalyptus.
Yeah.
When it comes to eucalyptus oil, the smell, the first thing that I associate with eucalyptus is clarification. And so I love burning eucalyptus in my home. And I also like the smell. So what I would recommend is say that you have trouble getting your thoughts in order, or you're having trouble really focusing on your task, or having issues relating to self-discipline, or knowing oh, I got to remember this, or very mind-focused situations or mind-focused cleansing. I would say do some aromatherapy as you cleanse your room. For example, cleanse your room, put some eucalyptus oil in like a aromatherapy diffuser or something like that. Boom, bam, thank you, ma'am. And as you're cleansing, you can speak these affirmations to yourself, like I communicate clearly with confidence and hold myself up to the same standard that I hold other people, type deal. Or focus on the new you, or not even the new you, because I feel like that just sounds so like the like old, you know what I mean? But the revived you, or whatever obstacles that you're cleansing away, or situations or stress that's getting you. As you're cleansing your space, you want to constantly be raising the vibration as you get rid of this low vibration of like confusion or negativity. And so what I recommend is like put on an album, put on a song, put some music in the fucking air, drink something sweet, just do something like kind of raise your vibration, drink you some water, some cold ass water or something, and then cleanse your space. And with your eucalyptus oil, if you're having mind focused shifts where you want to shift your perspective, or you want to have clarity on your path, or build your intuition, then I would recommend using the eucalyptus oil, or doing like aromatherapy, or say that you're taking a spiritual bath, you know what I mean? Or say that you have you're doing the floor wash in your room or the carpet thing, put eucalyptus oil in the carpet powder, in the vacuum powder, or put it in the floor wash, you know what I mean? Or you could put it in one of your sprays and wipe the walls down and wipe the door hinges with it, you know? It's just a matter of you tapping into like, what does your soul need, and getting creative as you take initiative to your healing.
Thank you.
No problem. And so yes, everyone, thank you for coming to the webinar. There will be more free resources that are hoodoo and Black spirituality related. You know, keep your eye open for any updates, any free classes. And yeah, before I go, I want to give y'all a little bone reading. And so let me just cleanse this area real quick. This is my bone board that I just made from scratch not too long ago. Smoking some soulfully organic smoke blend with my blunt holder. And I'm about to give my bones an offering. Mixed in here, this is Awakening Ajna, which is the third eye chakra smoke blend, which is great for divinations. Highly recommended, especially people trying to study or tap into their intuition. And yeah. Good job. So much better. Okay, and so I want to give a community reading regarding what are aspects that need to be cleansed within our lives. And I don't necessarily mean cleansed in a form of physical cleansing, but I mean more or less in a mental aspect. Like if we cleanse, what do we need to focus on while we're cleansing our space, while we're cleansing ourselves? What are some things that the collective need to know as they go on their spiritual journey, branching off like from cleansing? And just give us an overall update. What are some things that we need to know when it comes to cleansing our space? What are some tips or some pointers or some areas that you want us to really focus on? And what are some ways that we can tap into this Mars, Uranus, North Node, and Taurus conjunction to really have us push forward and break the boundaries that we've placed on ourselves? What needs to be cleansed in order for us to succeed? Cool. Okay, so the first thing that Ori is telling me is that spiritual assistance is going to be needed, but that doesn't mean in terms of me giving spiritual assistance. This is y'all tapping into y'all spirit and really connecting with spirit to get the guidance. They're saying when it comes to cleansing in the area, you guys are going to need the spiritual help. When it comes to dropping the baggage and dropping the situation, we really need to uncap and open and release the self-imprisonment that we put ourselves under, that this is a new cycle that's starting. This is a new time where it is going to be a significant area of change. Now we can be protected against, no, this is an intense area of change. Now we can be protected against the things that kill us about the mindset, the things that kill us in terms of self-sabotaging behaviors and the things that, that actually confide us. But it is going to be very significant that we focus on our transformation instead of constantly trying to pick at the skin. Think of a snake. As you pick at the skin that you're outgrowing, this is not the time to pick at that, but a time for us to welcome the new skin that's coming to us and the new skin that is forming. Because as we frantically try to stop the shift that's going on, and some of us are hyper picking at the skin, but some of us are also too scared to let the skin go, but very comfortable with the tightness that is around us. And that's what's kind of fucking us up. This is significant. They do want us to realize that we are protected against the situations that we think ultimately are going to kill us and stop us, but we must be committed to our intuition. We must be committed to the divine. We must be committed to our spiritual journey and really get started. A lot of us are getting screwed over by us not starting due to self-conditioning, due to the things that impact our ego and the human experience. But the ancestors are saying that right now they can help us. This is not the time to focus on petty things that you haven't accomplished and petty thoughts that are going to stop you, because ultimately you are lowering your vibration when you talk negatively about yourself, when you allow yourself to be stagnant, especially in terms of your thinking and in terms of your communication and in terms of how your curiosity is and how you really convey your intellectual mindsets and how you converse with people. Communication is going to be a key part, but we cannot be petty in terms of that, but we can also not fake the happiness. We can't act like everything is okay, and we can't allow ourselves to be our biggest hater, because at that point now that's when we start the whole cycle of fucking us up emotionally, and the conditioning that we go through on our ego. We also fuck ourselves up in terms of thinking. So now we're scared to be curious. We're scared to tap into so-and-so, and we're scared to communicate with our higher selves. We're scared because we're putting ourselves at this low vibration. And then also we stop our opportunities and we get overwhelmed with the responsibilities that we're going through right now. Feeling very overwhelmed energy with this reading. Damn, y'all. But yeah, we can feel like we're missing opportunities. Now we can't see the opportunities, but the reality is the opportunities isn't just going to come walk up to us, and the opportunities aren't just going to present themselves. We have to put ourselves out there. However, if we don't put ourselves out there due to us having stagnant thinking, nothing's going to be done. We have to tap into our Mars energy and really get out of our heads and into our egos, but not egotistical to the point where now we're acting too much. We're too immersed in our emotions and our human experience. But when I say egotistical, I mean getting on your high horse and really realizing that you are courageous, that you can utilize what you have. We have the Cali show open above the Mars logo up here. This is letting us know this is the time for us to get the fuck out of our heads and really be about that action. This is a time of change. We have 5 on the fire. This is letting us know. Also with the shotgun show right next to fire and fun, you need to start creating. A lot of us aren't creating, and that's the issue. A lot of us aren't being action oriented. Yes, Mars just went into Taurus, which is a very comfortable, like, this is a consistent sign. Ruling plants and ruling forward like nature. When we think of the process of a fruit tree, you want the fruit, but that's the last thing to bear, but we're not doing the actions to even get the fruit, but you're wanting the fruit. And that's what the issue is. It's time for us to uncover our fears about going outside into the public, and our fears about being seen, and our fears of being criticized, and our fear of us not being good enough, but really we're our biggest criticizer or critique. But it's just to the point where now we're scared to even be ourselves, and we're getting in our head and we're embellishing ourselves into the fear. What's coming up next, based off of what fell off the board, and this is also like my last thing that I'm about to say, is that our inner child wants to be unwoven. Our inner child has been wrapped into this cocoon and threaded into and almost into nothingness. Not saying our inner child is nothing, but I'm saying it's time for you to take off like the blindfold and take off the bandages that your inner child has been in due to the pain, and allow your inner child to play again, allow your inner child to have fun again, allow your inner child to become woven into your daily life and guide you. You've been trying to help your inner child, but it's now time for your inner child to help you. Children are the truth tellers. Children do not lie. Children do fucking lie, but children will tell you the truth. If they say that shirt is ugly, that shirt is probably fucking ugly. Now, if you like it, that's cool. But children will not lie. Children do not lie when it comes to their aspect of like innocence before they're conditioned by the world to lie. And so I think it's time for us to stop lying to ourselves. And this is what's coming, is that our inner child is going to come to us and present us with these opportunities. But it's just the fact, are you going to listen, or are you going to be comfortable with being uncomfortable in an area that you don't feel comfortable in, but you just feel so fucking hopeless? And so, yeah. And ultimately, that was why I decided to do this cleansing class. The reading is finished. I would say, side note before I start this next tangent and like these closing notes. These closing notes, I would say that our inner child wants to come out, and that this is a period of revival. Sun is ruled by the 5th house, or Sun rules the 5th house, which is the house of children, which is the house of fun, which is the house of play and entertainment and romance. And, you know, inner child healing. What is your inner child like? How would you like as a younger child? And I feel like this is a period where you can either make or break your relationship with your inner child. And this is not saying, oh, you didn't listen when you wanted a lollipop, your inner child will fuck with you. But it's like, no, you're either going to really push and hide yourself during this period, or you're gonna fucking allow yourself to shine. But the universe is telling me time is not gonna stop regardless. And so your actions now and your mindset today shape tomorrow. It's the small habits that make it habitual. And when your mind is habitual, then you can really get into the habit of saying you do this shit every day, and that this really is a passion. This is a time where we have to start thinking in our passions. You know, Jupiter is in Aries right now, or it's going into Aries. I don't fucking know. Jupiter is either in Aries right now, or it's going into Aries from this retrograde. But no, it is going retrograde. Around this time, I think Jupiter is in Aries. But anyway, Jupiter is finna be in Aries, or it currently is in Aries, depending on like when this was, whenever this is being watched by y'all. What I'm saying is, this is a time where you tapping into your fire energy, where Mars is about to be in one feminine sign, 2 an earth sign. This is the time for us to provide the fire, while Mars provides the fruit. Mars right now is highlighting the resources that you have and making us really realize that we have everything that we need to. It's just a matter of moving forward and realizing that you do have the fuck potential, that you have the power. But fear is going to keep us from feeling plentiful. Fear is going to keep us from feeling valuable. And this is a period where valuables such as money, valuables such as possessions, such as talents, and etc., these are going to be at a highlight for a while. But it's time for you to stop sheltering yourself. It's time for you to get the fuck out that house. It's time for you to really make a presence. And I'm not saying you are, you're not, or you're whatever, but at the same time, you don't have to go outside to be experienced from the outside, if you get what I'm saying. And if you don't, what I'm saying is social media, promoting yourself. You don't have to be mindlessly scrolling. You could be doing something that you love, something that inspires you, something that inspires other people. And yeah. So that was the reading. So that was that portion of the reading. Going back into my tangent that I was about to start with the closing remarks, this is honestly why I decided to do this webinar, because I feel like this is I feel like 2022 is just really fucking rough so far. It's really fucking rough. And I don't believe that when the clocks strike 12 and it's New Year, it is not a new year. It's really not. I feel like it's dead as not even middle of the year. It's like 3/4 of the year. And I don't know. It just feels off. It don't even feel like 3/4. It feel like half and 3/4 together. Well, I don't know fractions right now. But anyways, I just feel like this is a really pivotal time. And I feel like if you get left behind, you really are going to get left behind. This is, of course, not to fear monger nobody. Like, that is the last fucking thing I would want to do, because you have nothing to fear. And this is what I tell myself when I feel really fearful, is that if you truly are protected, you have nothing to fear. You ain't got nothing to fear. Just don't fuck with some shit you're not supposed to be messing with. Like, don't be trying to read no damn priestess or some shit. You fine. Like, just embrace your fucking journey exactly where it is, how it needs to be, where it needs to be, exactly, because if it wasn't happening now, it wouldn't be happening, period. Like, if it wasn't meant to happen exactly how it played out, it wouldn't have fucking happened. And I just feel like during this period of our life, in this period of like really understanding who we are, and everyone's tapping into like their spiritual gifts, I feel like this is a time where we just got to step the fuck up. And I don't think that it's easy to step the fuck up if you're still in the same energy that you're trying to get rid of, but you just don't know how to get rid of it. You don't know where to get rid of it. You don't and that's not saying like, oh, you don't know. It's just like, shit, there's just stuff that people don't fucking know. I've been doing this shit for like, I want to say almost 5 years now, like 2018, that's 5, 4, 6, I don't know, 5, just depending on the month. But anyways, and I don't know shit still. Like, I know shit, but at the same time, compared to people who've been doing this for decades, I don't know shit. And then those people who've been doing it for decades, they don't know shit compared to the people who fucking made it. And so it's just a fucking trench of knowledge. It's just a fucking like ocean of knowledge. And just embracing the part that you're at, but help push you forward. That's just what I'm trying to do. So yeah, thank y'all for coming to the webinar. I fuck with y'all. If y'all need anything, y'all know Soulfully Organic got resources, and shop Soulfully Organic, support Soulfully Organic. Bitch, now this shit sound like propaganda. Bitch. But yeah, shop Soulfully Organic. Let me know products that y'all want to know. This weekend I will be selling dirt. LOL. I'll probably be having a dirt class, like a dirt 101 webinar or something. That way people can know what to do with this dirt. But yeah, right now it's bang dirt. I'm gonna be selling bang dirt. Technically sort of stupid.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm about to stop the recording. Real quick, if you're from YouTube, subscribe for free resources. Come fuck with your girl. If you stayed this long, that's cool. I really hope that I helped you. Let me know what type of classes y'all would like or videos y'all would like. I'm gonna more than likely, I will be doing this because I need to do this shit. This is literally just in the fucking reading. I'll be posting zodiac shit more and just posting more shit overall. Bitch, just been moving. But yes, thank you. Subscribe, comment, like, share with your friends. Cleanse your motherfucking house. And when you cleanse your house, tell me what it was like. Tell me what you did. I want to hear about your experience. We could share. We could talk about this shit and make a beautiful community. And welcome to the Soul Family. You know, I don't really have clients. I might say clients just because Soul Family is low-key a mouthful, especially when I'm going on my one of 900 tangents. But that's what y'all are to me. I fuck with y'all. Have a good one. And that's what's up. Pause at any time. Share. Bye.
Bye.